Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Ortega is being blasted as entitled, toxic. She's claimed that she should lose her job because Jenna Ortega made Wednesday a success. Yeah, that's right. Check this interview out because this is what's causing the controversy.
I don't think I've ever had to put my foot down on a set in a way that I had to on Wednesday because it's so easy to fall into that category, especially with this type of show. Everything that she does, everything that I had to play, did not make sense for her character at all. Her being in a love triangle made no sense. Her going, there was a line about like a dress that she has to wear for a school dance, and she said, "Oh my God, I love it. Oh, I can't believe I said that. I literally hate myself." And I had to go, no. There's no way. There was times on that set where I even became almost unprofessional in a sense where I just started changing lines. The script supervisor thought that like I was going with something, and then I would have to sit down with the writers and they would be like, "Wait, what happened to the scene?" And I would have to go through and explain why I couldn't do certain things. I grew very, very protective of her, but you can't lead a story and have no emotional arc.
Yeah, that. Just that. The writers were ridiculous, saying absolute nonsense. Making her writing a love triangle for the character of Wednesday. And this is Netflix for you, ladies and gents. What an absolute joke. And then you got Stephen S. The Knight coming out and saying she's unprofessional, she needs to learn, she's not right, she's toxic, she's ridiculous, she's entitled. Stephen, buddy, Wednesday is a success. Okay, let's not get around that. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to air these grievances in public so the institutions behind those grievances that are allowing those grievances to occur change. Because otherwise, they're not incentivized. I don't see the issue here. But hey, you know, Stephen S. The Knight's behind quite a lot of stuff. He was behind Daredevil, right? So that's probably why, because he likes Netflix. But filmmaker and TV producer Stephen The Knight sparked a Twitter firestorm after he criticised Wednesday Jenna Ortega for a recent interview. Now you've heard the interview, but let's check out what he said. So Jenna Ortega, entitled and beyond toxic, after she spoke out on a podcast against the writers of Netflix smash hit Wednesday. Again, it's only a smash hit because of her. Did you want to see Wednesday in a love triangle? Fuck that. Stephen The Knight, whose writing credits include Buffy, Daredevil, and Spartacus, said he thought Ortega's comments were unprofessional. Not just that, he's been lambasting her, like, hard. Ortega said nothing about the character of Wednesday, made sense to her, and she had to step in to correct the arc of the story. Now, again, you've heard that. I've gone over that, so we're not really covering that now. But Stephen The Knight said it was inappropriate for Ortega to speak about script discussions, saying she publicly shit on the writers and producers. Yeah, good. Like, actually good. Because remember, ladies and gents, these people don't change sometimes unless they're forced to. And remember, this is one of the biggest successes that Netflix has had since Stranger Things. Why do you think that is? It's not the writers. If the lead star came in and changed it. I love talking with actors about their lines, stories, he tweeted. But by the nature of the beast, you don't have the full picture in TV of where the story is going and why some lines are needed for the whole to make sense. But literally everything made sense in Wednesday. Why? Because she changed it. She's young, so maybe she doesn't know any better, but she should. Piss off, Stephen. Alright? You're literally negating the fact that it was a success. She should also ask herself how she would feel if the showrunners gave an interview and talked about how difficult she was and refused to perform the material. But literally everyone publicly, aside from you, apparently you pleb, would go, but it was a success, so good, I'm glad she changed everything. He added, this kind of statement is beyond entitled and toxic. I love her work, but life's too short to deal with people like this in the business. Life's too short to deal with people like you, Stephen. Idiots that don't want to be, you know, are not prepared to listen to an alternate view. Absolutely ridiculous. Look at this shit. Yeah, a love triangle? Are you joking me? When I first signed on to the show, I didn't have all the scripts. I thought it was going to be a lot darker. It wasn't. I didn't know what the tone was or what the score would sound like. There was lines that did not appeal to her. Her being in a love triangle made no sense. There was a line about a dress. Yeah, ridiculous. The script supervisor thought I was going with something, and then I had to sit down with the writers, and they'd be like, well, what happened to the scene? Yeah, well, why? It's a success. Why is it a success? Because she changed it. Absolutely ridiculous. When you are little and say very morbid, offensive stuff, it's funny and endearing, but then you become a teenager and it's nasty and you know it. There's less of an excuse. Honestly, what? Why is she being lambasted? You know, she previously criticised the show's team, saying in October that one of the directors, Tim Burton, did not want me to have any expressions or emotions at all when she was playing Wednesday, something she fought against. He wanted a flat surface, which I understand, she said, speaking to Christina Ricci. It's funny and great, except when you're trying to move a plot along, and Wednesday is in every scene. There was a lot of battles like that because I felt like people didn't always trust me when I was creating my path in terms of, okay, this is her arc, this is where she gets emotional. I was completely lost and confused. Typically, I have no problem using my voice, but when you're in it, I just remember feeling defeated after the first month. And she also criticised the decision to have multiple directors. There have never been so many cooks in the kitchen. I was completely lost and confused. No issue with any of these things. This is it's the second biggest English language hit, only behind Stranger Things. This series is absolutely huge, and then you get dipshits like this. Wednesday, Jenna Ortega's rude comments should kill her career, but they won't. Piss off, New York Post. What are you talking about? What makes Jenna Ortega think she can publicly trash her employer and get away with it? Everybody and everything, that's what. Such is the punishment-free, cowering in terror, you do you, be well world we live in. No, it's the fact that the proof is in the pudding. It would have been different if it wasn't a success. John Olensinski, you dickhead. Like, are we just negating the fact that this is the second biggest hit ever for Netflix? Yeah, we are. Clearly we are. But Ortega wasn't on a teary-eyed apology tour, atoning for her sins. No, she was extolling her rotten behaviour as a virtue. Oh, fucking, just kill me now. Netflix owes her. They literally owe her. On the podcast, the actress, who's also in Scream 6, discussed how, like an authoritarian director, she was a self-appointed script doctor on Wednesday, and that she deserves the utmost thanks from the actual paid, unionised writers for bettering their thoughtless schlock. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with what she said. And the proof is literally in the pudding. The moment you inserted a love triangle in Wednesday, people would have rolled their eyes and switched it the fuck off. So yeah, funnily enough, academic writers that have no world experience versus Jenna Ortega, who seems, for all intents and purposes, quite a down-to-earth actor, clearly with a little bit more world experience because she didn't think Wednesday it was an appropriate platform to have a love triangle. Yeah, I'd rather take her opinion, actually, funnily enough. Oh, goodness me. And then you have these statements. Jenna, you're in a mediocre spin-off of the Addams Family that's best known for a flailing arms dance on TikTok. Nothing about it makes sense. Bro, you write for the New York Post, mate. You've got a smaller platform than I do. Shut up. When the writers are saying to you, wait, what happened to the scene? You've crossed an obvious line and are no longer doing a job. But the results speak for themselves. Ortega's egotistical nonsense is a throwback to Katherine Heigl's petulance in the early days of Grey's Anatomy. The then 29-year-old starlet was also known for being difficult when in 2008 she very publicly took herself out of Emmy Awards contention. This guy's such a twat. It's frustrating when people negate the end result. You know, you can't sit there and go, well, you clearly don't know better than the writers when it's the second biggest hit behind Stranger Things. This is the biggest hit. Stranger Things goes. right? It's done after the next season. Netflix needs another Stranger Things. This is what they've got. And they owe it all to Jenna Ortega. Wow. Diva behaviour isn't new in Hollywood. It's not diva. It's literally just going, this is not what the character would do. She clearly understands the character. Why are we lambasting it as diva-ish? But to publicly proclaim that your co-workers stink is tantamount to treason, especially when said co-workers are responsible for the breakout role that saved you from video game. But it's not her co-workers. Ortega should be criticised for her ungrateful comments. Instead, she's being celebrated. Yes. Yes. Because we're not morons like you, Johnny Oleksinski. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you want to join and support further, we've got memberships and there's members only benefits like members only streams on Thursdays. Cheers guys, take care.